taking care of repaying the loan. That's what Greg was supposed to do. But while I was working, I got an email. It was from Greg. I called him quickly to ask about it. Greg wasn't in a rush. He calmly explained, "Oops, my bad. I've met someone. I want to start a new life with her." He even mentioned taking the fancy car we got, which I took a loan for, in my name. I tried to stop him, but he wouldn't listen. He hung up suddenly and stopped answering my calls. In the end, Greg disappeared with his new girlfriend, leaving me with a big debt. I'm Hannah, 35 years old. Greg, my husband, is the same age. We have a son, Ryan, who's 10 years old. Ryan's always been smart. He reads stuff online and asks me about it, even if I don't always understand. Greg, on the other hand, has never had a steady job. I work full-time, worrying about our future. But Greg finally got a stable job recently, and we decided to buy a camper van for $35,000. Since Greg couldn't get a loan in his name, I got it instead. On the day the camper van arrived, Greg sent me an email out of the blue. He said he's taking the van because the loan is in my name. He also confessed he's in love with someone else and wants to be with her. I was shocked and confused. I called him right away. "What are you talking about?" I asked. He said he's leaving to be with his new girlfriend and hung up. I was heartbroken. I tried to reach Greg, but he wouldn't respond. I felt betrayed. I couldn't find the divorce papers we talked about. I was left with a huge debt and no way to contact Greg. Ryan noticed something was wrong and asked me about it. I tried to hide it, but I couldn't lie to him. So, I decided to tell him everything. I understand. Dad has a habit of doing unexpected things like this. Aren't you sad? Ryan asked, his words tinged with a sense of understanding. No, not really, I replied. I sort of saw it coming from how things were going. Ryan, seemingly wise beyond his years, appeared unfazed by the prospect of our parents' divorce. But deep down, I knew he must be hurting. Though I felt sorry for him, I couldn't bring myself to express it. As I tried to push away thoughts of the dreadful events that unfolded, my body couldn't hide the toll it took on me. Despite a planned training session at work, I found myself unable to stand up. "I'm sorry, I need to take a break," I muttered weakly as I squatted down. Concerned voices of my colleagues surrounded me, but I couldn't respond. Eventually, I collapsed. When I regained consciousness, I found myself in a hospital room. The doctor delivered a diagnosis. I needed further examinations and was admitted to the hospital. Feeling pathetic, tears welled up in my eyes as I stared at the drip in my arm and the sterile ceiling above. In that moment, Ryan burst into the room, his usually calm demeanor replaced by worry. "Mom, what happened? Are you okay?" he asked urgently. I reassured him, wiping away my tears as quickly as I could. "Of course, I'm not going to leave you," I replied, my heart aching at the thought of worrying him. Ryan's concern for me touched me deeply. Despite his young age, he showed maturity beyond his years. Determined to get better for his sake, I fought through the pain. But my condition was worse than anticipated, and surgery became necessary. Upon discharge, a month had passed since Greg left. Upon returning home, I discovered a demand letter for the car loan payment in the mailbox. Panic set in as I realized the repayment hadn't been deducted from my account as expected. Checking my balance, I saw it had dwindled to a mere $33.90. Greg must have done this, I thought bitterly. Frustrated and unable to contact him, I felt overwhelmed, with everything seeming to spiral out of control. Ryan's concern only grew. "You look pale. Are you feeling sick again?" he asked, his brow furrowed with worry. "Physically, I'm fine," I reassured him. "But your father not only took the car, but he also emptied our savings. I can't work due to my health, and now we have no money." Ryan's eyes widened with understanding. "I see," he said solemnly, determined to help. Ryan made an unexpected suggestion. I'll deliver newspapers, and I'll search the internet for any work I can do, he declared. His resilience and determination buoyed my spirits. Sorry for worrying you, I said, mustering a smile. I can't afford to be weak. I'll change my mindset and do whatever I can. Encouraged by his unwavering support, I felt a glimmer of hope amidst the darkness. Let's strategize on how to retrieve the car from Dad. The camper van is in your name, right? Ryan asked. Yes, but what can we do about it? I replied, feeling uncertain. Ryan then suggested an idea that took me by surprise. Maybe we can. He began, his voice filled with excitement and determination. I had never even thought such an idea could exist, I admitted, feeling a mix of disbelief and curiosity. But I have no idea where your father is, I added, feeling a sense of hopelessness creeping in. Let's check on my phone, Ryan suggested. A month ago, during a family hiking trip where Ryan got lost, we bought him a kid's cell phone and installed a GPS app on it. With this app, I can see where Dad is in real time, and he's been moving around a lot, Ryan explained. But what if we find him and he just gives us a vague response and escapes again? I worried aloud. Ryan smiled mischievously and revealed, Don't worry, I've already taken precautions. I was astonished. What did you just say? I asked, barely able to believe what I was hearing. Ryan had acted independently while I was in the hospital, achieving something incredible. I can't believe such a smart child came from me, I marveled, feeling a surge of pride and admiration for my son. With Ryan's plan in motion, we prepared to confront Dad. With Ryan by my side, I'm invincible. Bring it on, anywhere, anytime, I thought, feeling a newfound sense of strength and determination. 3 days later, my phone rang. It's me. Please, I need your help. A familiar voice bleated. Oh, who might this be? I replied coyly. Don't play dumb. It's your husband, obviously, came the response. Greg was being questioned by the police at a forest park near our house where camping was allowed. Feeling a mix of emotions, I sighed and told the police we needed to talk as a couple. As we approached Greg's car, his mistress sat inside, glaring at us. Sorry about that. Thanks for coming, Greg said, looking bewildered. But why did the police suddenly show up at my place? I don't get it, he added, trying to make sense of the situation. That's because I filed a report about the missing camper van, I explained calmly. Greg's face fell as he realized the gravity of the situation. But I didn't steal the car. I just borrowed it for a bit, he protested weakly. Ryan, ever perceptive, interjected. You filed for divorce, remember? We're strangers now, and you're driving a stranger's car without permission. That's a crime. Greg was left speechless, realizing the consequences of his actions. In that moment, I felt a sense of closure and empowerment. With Ryan's help, I had confronted the situation head-on, reclaiming control of our lives. As I reached out my hand, asking Greg to return the keys, he reluctantly handed them over. Ryan seized the opportunity to confront his father. Why did you abandon your family and choose to play around with this woman? He asked, catching Greg off guard. Greg, visibly uncomfortable, scratched his head awkwardly. His mistress, Mandy, chimed in arrogantly, claiming she was more attractive than me. Ryan silenced her with a stern tone, demanding answers from his father. Greg finally spoke up, revealing that he and Mandy had become involved at a company party 3 months ago. When Mandy became pregnant, Greg decided to start a new life with her, leaving us behind. Ryan, ever the strategist, had monitored Greg's movements using the GPS app we installed on his phone. He revealed that he had pretended to get lost during a family hike to persuade us to buy him a cell phone with GPS tracking. I was amazed at Ryan's foresight and cunning. Greg, faced with his son's accusations, was unable to offer any rebuttal. Seeing Ryan assert himself with such maturity filled me with pride as a mother. demanding the return of the $20,000 Greg withdrew from our joint account. I was appalled to learn he had squandered it. This revelation reinforced my decision to divorce him, when Greg argued that he didn't have to return the money, claiming it was joint property. I stood firm. I insisted that the money was mine, accumulated through years of hard work, as Greg had frequently quit his jobs midway, realizing the gravity of his actions. Greg attempted to downplay the situation, but I was adamant about pressing charges for theft. As Greg tried to dismiss the issue, Mandy's parents arrived, adding to the chaos. Their anger towards Mandy was palpable. Mandy, startled by their presence, tried to placate them, but it was too late. In that moment, I realized the importance of standing up for myself and my son. I knew I had to follow through with pressing charges against Greg and Mandy, ensuring justice was served. With Ryan by my side, I felt empowered to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Ryan suspected Mandy, who had left the company with Greg, and took matters into his own hands. He gathered evidence, including photos of Greg and Mandy looking overly friendly at company events. Ryan cleverly deduced that Mandy might have connections with her parents, so he tracked them down using information from the office. I contacted Mandy's parents and asked them to wait nearby for a while, Ryan explained, revealing his strategic thinking. Greg, shocked by this revelation, protested, but I couldn't bear to hear excuses from him. "That's my line," I retorted, feeling a mix of frustration and determination. As tensions rose, Ryan made a startling discovery. "Your stomach seems quite big. When is the baby due?" he asked Mandy. Her response revealed a crucial inconsistency. "In 3 months," she replied. But Greg and Mandy had only met 3 months ago, raising doubts about the baby's paternity. Realizing the truth, Greg confronted Mandy, leading to an explosive argument. Meanwhile, we contacted the police again to explain the situation. Soon, the forest park was illuminated by police car lights as officers arrived to mediate. Greg pleaded for leniency, promising to change his ways. But Ryan, ever insightful, reminded us that people like Greg rarely change. "I can't trust you at all," I agreed, feeling a mix of disappointment and resentment. As Greg and Mandy were taken away by the police, I laid out the consequences they would face. Greg would have to pay back the stolen money, along with child support for Ryan. I arranged for Greg to work at a subcontracting factory, ensuring his earnings would contribute towards his debts. With Greg and Mandy out of the picture, I sold the camper van and cleared the auto loan. My health improved remarkably, and I threw myself into my job with renewed energy. Ryan, ever supportive, helped with household chores and errands, showing maturity beyond his years. Together, Ryan and I vowed to move forward, determined to create a bright future for ourselves. I wanted to ensure Ryan could pursue his dreams without any obstacles, and with his unwavering support, I knew we could overcome any challenge that came our way. In the aftermath of Greg and Mandy's departure, life began to settle into a new rhythm for Ryan and me. With Greg's debts being addressed and the camper van sold, a sense of financial stability returned to our lives. I found solace in my work, throwing myself into projects with newfound vigor. Ryan, too, seemed to flourish in this period of transition. His maturity and sense of responsibility continued to impress me, as he took on more tasks around the house and helped with errands without complaint. Despite the challenges we had faced as a family, our bond only grew stronger. As time passed, I reflected on the lessons learned from our ordeal. I realized the importance of resilience and determination in the face of adversity. I vowed to instill these values in Ryan, knowing that they would serve him well in the future. With each passing day, I felt a renewed sense of hope and optimism for the journey ahead. I was determined to create a life filled with joy and fulfillment for both myself and Ryan. Together, we would forge our own path, leaving behind the pain of the past and embracing the possibilities of the future. In the months following Greg and Mandy's departure, Ryan and I found ourselves gradually adjusting to our new reality. With the legal proceedings and financial matters sorted out, a sense of calm settled over our household. Yet, amidst the tranquility, there lingered a profound sense of growth and transformation. Ryan, now more than ever, demonstrated an incredible resilience and maturity beyond his years. He took on additional responsibilities around the house without complaint, eagerly helping to manage daily tasks and support me in any way he could. His unwavering support became a source of strength for me, inspiring me to push forward even during the most challenging moments. As we navigated this new chapter of our lives together, I couldn't help but marvel at Ryan's resilience and adaptability. Despite the upheaval caused by Greg's betrayal, he remained steadfast in his determination to thrive. His ability to find light in the darkness reminded me of the incredible resilience of the human spirit. Together, Ryan and I embarked on new adventures, exploring hobbies and interests that brought us joy and fulfillment. We spent weekends hiking in the nearby mountains, immersing ourselves in the beauty of nature and reveling in the simple pleasures of life. These moments of connection and serenity served as a reminder that, despite the challenges we faced, there was still so much beauty and wonder in the world. As the seasons changed and time marched forward, I found myself filled with a profound sense of gratitude for the journey that had brought us to this point. While the road had been fraught with obstacles and challenges, it had also been marked by moments of incredible growth, resilience, and love. Looking ahead, I felt a renewed sense of optimism for the future. With Ryan by my side, I knew that we could weather any storm that came our way. Together, we would continue to embrace life's challenges with courage, resilience, and an unwavering spirit of determination. And as we journeyed forward, hand in hand, I knew that the best was yet to come. As the days passed by, Ryan and I found ourselves delving deeper into our shared interests and passions. We embarked on a journey of self-discovery, exploring new hobbies and pursuits that brought us closer together. One of our favorite pastimes became cooking together. We spent hours in the kitchen, experimenting with recipes from around the world and bonding over our shared love of food. From baking decadent desserts to preparing savory dishes, each culinary adventure brought us closer together and created lasting memories. In addition to our culinary explorations, Ryan and I also found solace in nature. We spent weekends exploring the great outdoors, hiking through lush forests, and picnicking beside tranquil lakes. Surrounded by the beauty of the natural world, we found peace and serenity, leaving behind the stresses of daily life. But our adventures weren't limited to the great outdoors. We also delved into the world of literature, spending evenings curled up with our favorite books. Ryan's love for reading blossomed, and we often found ourselves engaged in lively discussions about the characters and themes of our latest literary discoveries. As we immersed ourselves in these shared experiences, I couldn't help but marvel at the bond that had formed between us. Despite the challenges we had faced, our connection had only grown stronger, fortified by a shared sense of resilience and determination. In the midst of our newfound happiness, I also made a conscious effort to focus on my own personal growth and development. I enrolled in online courses, expanding my knowledge and skills in areas that piqued my interest. With each new skill learned and milestone achieved, I felt a renewed sense of confidence and empowerment. As the months turned into years, Ryan and I continued to navigate life's ups and downs together, drawing strength from our shared experiences and unwavering support for one another. Our journey was far from over, but with each passing day, I was filled with a profound sense of gratitude for the incredible bond that we shared and the countless blessings that life had